Jon Turner's Director of Defense and Intel at Zscaler. Jon, welcome. It's great to see you. What are the obstacles that you have seen maritime services encounter in modernization and bringing innovative solutions into their organizations?
I would say it's definitely not unique to just the maritime space, but defense and intel across the board. I get asked by a lot of senior leaders, and I'm in the IT space, so it's mostly there, but we bleed into operations very quickly. Tell us what the commercial world's doing. We want to mimic that. We want to move quicker. And it's fascinating because it kind of comes down to the old cattle versus cats. Mm-hmm. We tell them what the cattle are doing. At Zscaler, on our commercial clouds, we have over 50 million users. So I think it's working for a couple people. Then we tell the DoD and Intel leaders, hey, this is what they're doing. And then they start to explain to us why they're cats, why they're special, why it doesn't quite work for them. Mm-hmm. Personally, I think it goes back to the defining of requirements and the policy that influence those requirements. But in the end, we're operating in the same universe. And a great example of that is I recently visited with a military unit, very operational, very high tempo, high security, the sorts that they make movies about. Brought in some subject matter experts. We had not properly passed clearances. And there was a bit of a worry that the discussion would be hampered because we couldn't get into that classified space. And one of the guys with me handled it beautifully. Time out. Let's not even talk about anything military. Let's talk about use cases out there in the commercial space. Let's take, for example, an oil and gas company or a mining company that has to do exploration, discovery, and recovery of something like a rare earth mineral. They have to go to odd places of the universe or the globe, and I guess these days the universe as well, but they're worried about nation states tracking them, friendly and adversary. They're worried about their communications. Odd behavior can draw someone's attention, odd travel plans, upload, download of large amounts of data, or all sorts of signals that something's going on here. They need basic operational security, just like the military does. And those use cases we are executing on every day in the real world space. And so then the question is, why can't the military move quicker to do that? And it comes back to policy and requirements. Yeah. Look at something like a fighter jet. Do we need a new fighter jet? And it's wonderful. We all know we need the next generation. But then, do we really need a new fighter jet, or what's the strategic mission? We need air superiority. And then creative folks can get into how are we going to get down that path.
So the department says that it's getting better at explaining to industry what it needs rather than a list of stuff. Are you seeing that reflected in what comes to you?
It's getting better.
Yeah.
And I think it comes back to pain. Uh-huh. When the bureaucracy is not under pain, whether it's from external things like wars and global conflict, or if it's internal with changes of administration and policy, we know a large bureaucracy needs a little bit of pain to get pushed along the way. And something as simple, and it's not either party, you start cutting budgets, you're inflicting pain. And so it forces that change mechanism. And I thoroughly believe that's a good thing.
Do you see things, the trajectory changing on innovation, modernization over time? And if so, how so?
I definitely do. The pain is making the change a must do. The resulting modernization, because that commercial world is a lot more like the military world, they're able to recognize that and adopt it. And you take something, in my space, we very much specialize in something like zero trust. And folks look at it as something where we have to get to. I'm sorry, but we're there today. We put our stuff forward, or our technology forward, in a way that, say you're in an area, Afghanistan, the fiber optic networks are laid by the Russians, the cell phone communications, 5G networks are laid in by the Chinese. We're operating on an inherently compromised network. And our technology enables us to operate securely there. To think that we have a safe zone is a bit naive. We are either operating on a network that's already been compromised or already has vulnerabilities that have simply not yet been exploited. And quite frankly, we've adapted the technology where we can operate safely in that space. And we're doing it every day. We just need the government to get there as well. And they are getting there.
Jon, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks for joining me.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.